something with a little bit more early game oomph. At what point do you actually put Keen on an AD carry on the bottom side of the map? Because I feel like he's about good enough on an AD carry just to be a bot lane player, as Rakan, left available as Urgot, is the one snapped up, and it's proud. 3 games in a row on that champion. The Lucian going to be locked in here from the Afreeca Freecs, and we know that that is well and truly a true flex. Yukal, Keen, and I guess someone else.
Spirit's played a lot of jungle Ezreal, so I'm sure he's played Lucian before. I feel like this will be Keen in the bot lane, right? But there's no guarantee of that. And Gen G don't know. They just take Kai'Sa again because so far it's been working and the hypercarry threat is real.
Urgot, Kai'Sa, and the Alistar locked in. It's a little bit frightening because it looks very similar to what we saw from the first composition. And this is looking much more standard from the Afreeca Freecs. Theoretically, we've got a mid laner and a bottom lane already locked in. But I can see that Spirit's still got teleport, so I'm not entirely sure what he's going to be playing on the bottom side of the map or where that Lucian is in fact going.
No Galio ban necessary from Afreeca. They can just flex the Lucian into a Galio lane. And you know what? I think Fly's had enough of playing Galio.
Yeah, I just wouldn't do it if I was you either. Fly, I'm on your team for that one.
Kali, red side ban here. Don't want Roach to potentially pick that one up. Fly may just be on Urgot duty again.
Interesting that they ban away the Akali when Yukal is on the counterpick champion to the Akali if it was to be picked up. So
counterpick's a strong word, but I
well, yes, you know what I mean.
Priority
like
for sure.
The pick that you want to take into the Akali if you have to.
Final ban here could be so many different things from Gen G, based on what Afreeca have done so far. They're going to ban away the Olaf, one of Dread's normal picks. Will we see a jungle pick here from Dread, or is it going to take longer on the red side? Xin Zhao's up, and he goes tier list. Definitely has good matchups, and Gen G have to react with a jungle that doesn't lose too hard against Xin Zhao.
Yeah, will we see Peanut pick up the Jax? Because that Counter-Strike looked pretty good from OnFleek earlier on in the day. Feels like a long time ago now, but feels like the counter to the Hail of Blades certainly was that Jax pick with the Counter-Strike. Zoe being considered now. Fly, definitely a comfort pick for him, so he's going to take that one into the mid lane, and this is what you were calling for.
Yep.
The Lee Sin for Peanut, 20 seconds before they make up their mind, but I personally would love to see this. Get back onto some comfort.
His Lee Sin is clean. He needs some more confidence. They may have picked up the victory on the Elise, but he was a bit of a passenger in that game. So I really like Lee Sin. Not many people playing it. Only Clid so far. In the LCK, we will see the Lee Sin lock-in.
Omti as well in the Kesper Cup was looking fantastic on the Lee Sin. I believe 30 KDA.
I said the word Mordekaiser a lot to Spirit in the past.
This is another one that could certainly be flexed around in the Yasuo, but lots of different options. 10 seconds to go, and we know that Afreeca are playing with the hearts.
From every single pick that comes in here.
Annie! Okay. So Spirit's going to be playing Annie this game, I guess.
Is she okay?
I don't know. Talk to Michael.
Annie comes in. LS somewhere watching this in glee. As Spirit does continue with playing those champions that just want to wave clear, old school champions, going to be, I assume, an Annie Rakan bot lane. Well, if the first CC hits, the next 3 will too.
That is true. And so we'll see exactly whether the Afreeca Freecs are going to be able to navigate it this time around. Where is Keen going to go once we actually hit the Rift is the real question. I have a feeling that it will be on the top side to try and bully. The low-range Urgot is something that the Lucian certainly can do. And Lucian top lane, I think, I'm trying to look back. Was it Huni the last time we saw this one when he was on SKT abusing BBQ with that particular pickup?
There's a handful of games from other players since Huni has gone back to NA, so I don't believe that's the most recent data point, but obviously a Huni favorite.
Yep.
Problem I see from Afreeca is if they ever fall behind, there's so much of a range advantage for Fly over basically the entire roster.
Yes.
Of Afreeca Freecs. Annie, Lissandra all get trolled by the long-range paddle stars. Fly in previous games has had very good performances on this Zoe. So it's going to be very much about getting a vision line, because if they can get control wards down, you die instantly to any combination of 2 champions on the side of Afreeca Freecs.
Exactly, and also the Annie doesn't have the wave clear that the Nico or the Morgana provided in either of these games for the Afreeca Freecs, so not going to be as reliable to keep the waves in the positions that you want them for the Afreeca Freecs against Gen G, but let's hear from the fans. Gen G have been so loud so far tonight.
roar of the Gen G fans.
Just insane.
Unbelievable. Been among the loudest we've had so far at Lowell Park. Not always a team known for having big fan support, but it seems like they're mobilizing more and more, and I'm sure some Peanut fans have defected from King Zone over to Gen G.
Yes, I have a feeling that the Peanut fans just follow him wherever he goes. So SKT to King Zone, and now back to Gen G. But the beach ball is going to fly forward, but Fly is not going to be able to find anything, so nothing early going to result from this one. Predator Annie as well, guys, means that she will be able to get her bear into the position that she wants to.
Fly's actually sticking around just in case there's a trouble bubble that could take down one of the members of Afreeca. Spirit's range very, very short, as we know, on this Annie.
Oh, wow, that was close. Fly is going to make his way back to the mid lane now.
Give the new bot laner something to think about. Is a pretty good tack to take. Here it comes. Annie bot, literally, is happening in this game. Spirit and Proud on Annie and Rakan. Predator Annie is the confirmation here. Ingenious Hunter is the choice there from the Annie.
Would make some sense, I guess, as Life's going to get that headbutt in onto Proud.
Oh, the auto attack range. So painful for Alistar.
Yes. If only you could headbutt and auto.
It was there before.
Do you miss it?
No.
No?
I did like playing top lane Alistar, but no.
No.
Now, AP Alistar, that was fun.
Yeah, our good friend Spawn that we speak about sometimes on this broadcast, he, in fact, still plays the AP Alistar.
Well, he doesn't do a lot of winning, so.
I hear his win rate's actually positive, because that was an OPL segment that they did.
Just like the Nocturne mid stuff from Verdius. It's trying too hard, I think.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Roach doesn't have much agency in this lane. Lucian skates around, and Roach hopes that the minion wave will crash soon. Speaking of crashing soon, Peanut not spotted, coming bot lane. Spirit walks up. This could be the perfect time for an engage.
Yep, W is going to come in. There's the flash pulverize. Oh, the headbutt doesn't work as Spirit flashes at the most godlike timing. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how that was possible.
That was so lucky there because the pulverize was the start and the headbutt was going to come afterwards.
Well, Dread's found the Hail of Blades. The knock-up comes in as well as Peanut trying to get his way out. Another trouble bubble flies past. Peanut now has to be very careful in his jungle. You can see just why this Hail of Blades in Zhao is so scary.
Because he doesn't need to hit any skill shots. He runs at you, and then with the Hail of Blades, he out-trades you. It's how it goes.
He has one skill shot that he can try to hit if he wants to, but that's coming at level 3.
Exactly, and that was a really well-coordinated gank because Life is walking up as he hits level 2 for the flash pulverize. Everything perfect, except the CC duration was what? 0.2 seconds too short?
Yeah, I think so. Having said, Flash is still down from both members. On the bottom side of the map, Life still has his Hex Flash available as Dread wants to find Fly.
Go.
Remember, the CC and follow-up CC in every lane bar top lane for the Afreeca Freecs is fantastic. So if we see Dread playing on the bot side, doing some vertical jungling there, it's likely that we will be able to find some joy as Spirit can't get the Flash Tibbers in there and doesn't have boots yet for the Predator.
No keystone, so no ability to push forward. I try to play a lot of Annie bot. I enjoy playing her, and a lot of different keystones you can consider. Glacial Augment's a really troll one, because if you're against melee champions, you're just getting the really annoying micro slow every auto. Electrocute, Dark Harvest, again, all these things can be considered.
Yeah, basically anything that does some extra damage, you can imagine would work out.
Another game where Ruler and Kai'Sa in the late game should be the hard carry here. There's no front line on the side of Afreeca. They're very squishy, but with good engage and amazing burst damage.
And what is the tactic going to be? Is it try and keep Ruler down in the laning phase, or is it try and weather the storm of the laning phase and focus elsewhere on the map? Maybe build Keen into an absolute team-fighting god. On the Lucian, certainly has been something we've seen in the past as far as spiking earlier is concerned.
4-man bot dives are pretty reliable. When you have Annie in the lane, Flash Tibbers is instant cast. And if you can just isolate topside to be multiple turret plates cashed in again and again while you just gank Ruler incessantly, I think that's a pretty good way to go. You're going to be spotted. Good ward put down by the Urgot.
And also, we've got Peanut.
This is the next level here, too.
He's going to be here, and of course, is unseen at this stage. Claw just to get Yukal out, and he doesn't know quite how smart that was, as Piercing Light comes in. Corrosive Charge lands.
Looking
Peanut biding his time.
Yeah, looking for a Relentless Pursue to try to make a play here. Not going to see one.
Yep, if that is on cooldown, that is going to be the go button. I believe this wave is in an unfortunate spot. Peanut not going to find any joy with the gank.
No kleptomancy from Keen. Opening himself up to ganks, because press the attack and Hail of Blades Xinjiao together is a whole lot of health bar.
Yes. And of course, with your double tap, it's pretty good. Having the old press the attack, you stack that one up pretty quickly. But UCal loses nothing by going up towards the top side of the map.
Going to be a lot of moments like this where Spirit makes the wrong call on when to recall and when to channel, and feels like it's much more technical when two good bot lanes are playing as to when and where you can actually go for a recall and when the right timing is, not just, well, the cannon minion's coming, so now's the time.
Well, vision available here is indicated by the Afreeca Freecs, so Dread still waiting to try and find his opportunity to flash forward.
They need to see something from Life, otherwise it seems impossible.
Yeah, there's the stun. The Grand Entrance comes down there as well as Ruler is able to dash his way out with the Supercharger.
Hey.
Good double knock-up comes in as well as Life doesn't have the ultimate, but didn't need it. And the disengage is really nice from Gen G.
This is why I say it's almost impossible. Alistair stuffed 3 people alone with 3-man pulverize. Very nicely done by Life. And now Peanut, he continues to be a lot more gank-centric on the Lee Sin than we might have expected. Level 4 and sticking in lane.
And it's this game where I'm starting to become curious as to why this is the roster that was decided on, right? It feels like we're in one of those scenarios where, you know, MVP couldn't... Oh, goodness. See you later, Spirit. Yeah, it's going to be first blood. They pull the trigger. They get it done. Hex Flash from Life just feels too easy.
Just seems like a gimmick too many. First game, loved it. Second game, well, you tried. Third game, now the champion pool is an issue.
It's like the max top lane from MVP is Dread. Waiting in the wings. No vision available here from Peanut. That was real sneaky. Teleport.
Actually gives away Dread a little bit.
I don't know whether that was the best move, as Peanut's going to get tagged up, but just steals away the red. They want to take the 100% consistent play of stealing the jungle away from Peanut.
Inferno Drake has spawned, and huge value on the side of Afreeca Freecs. They won't visit it for now. Gonna get that replay. Really nicely done from Gen G. Waiting for Spirit to walk up. Hex Flash into Headbutt Pulverize. Doesn't even need Spirit to walk up. Oh, the gap closed in the world and targeted. Oh, baby. Kill goes the way. Nicely played by Gen G's support and jungle duo.
Now Spirit does have a keystone, though. So Sork Boots as well as a Ruby Crystal.
Your burst range with Ignite is about 65 to 70% of Ruler's health bar at full, but doesn't have Ignite, and Proud's Ignite on cooldown.
And also, Peanut understands that they're probably going to continue going aggressive, because it's the only way that you can stop Ruler from farming, so he's down here once again. The respect is certainly needed. As you can see how many wards the Afreeca Freecs have. They want to know exactly where Peanut is so that they can keep him accountable. They can't see him now, so odds are he's on the bottom side of the map, and he's actually going to show himself trying to get some of these turret plates. As there's the headbutt pulve, and Spirit once again in trouble, but is going to get that shield from the Guardian. The battle dance is going to come down, but Spirit is not going to get hit up. Peanut finally finds that kill. Turret shot nowhere near enough in order to get that damage back. Gleaming Quill does negligible damage, but Dread is going to flash on in and pick up that kill.
Peanut's so desperate for the kill, goes super overextended, ends up being a 1-for-1 after all, and some assists going the way of Afreeca. That means they should pick up the Infernal Drake as mid lane.
Yep, Fly not going to get hit by the claw damage, but UCal in so much trouble. Using the claw aggressively, does have the flash still available, so can dodge. A follow-up Paddle Star, but that's getting scary in the mid lane.
They trade down on that dive because Infernal is up and Xinjiao only a live jungler in the area. UCal knew he couldn't just use ult onto Fly because Cleanse is still available. So it meant that he ate a lot of free damage. Free Infernal, though, that's the treat you want.
Yeah, that's a real nice one. And the Lucian going to be feeling very happy already, 20 CS ahead, but
so
we're not ahead bottom side.
Play. Flash comes in. Spirit's on about 250 health, gets the heal from the Q. The kick misses, would have killed Spirit, and then, you know, you have to go super, super deep. You come in, and Peanut continues to walk up. Doesn't need to do that, as a kill actually happens with the Urgot.
Yep, the reason why everyone's cheering is because Keen actually falls on the top side of the map. While we were talking about it, you saw it in the picture-in-picture. So, Roach having a much better start this time around. It was him in the Death Chamber at this point last game, but no longer going to be the case. Not going to get any turret plates for it, and we've almost got a Blade of the Ruined King done. Here for Keen, things going to get even rougher, but Roach does have the Bramble Vest, as well as the Ninja Tabi and a Kindle Gem, so building real tanky here as there's the Flash Sustain.
Good from Peanut. He runs straight to another lane gank. And it's basically soloed by Roach there. Hits everything. Love the opening. So many more E-flashes happening in the last week or so. People now at home with the Urgot after it being a new meta thing when we had our summer final last year. First split with a lot of Urgot mid lane.
Yeah, Yukal once again going to go in very early as the paddle star. Not going to land. Sonic Wave also not going to land as Frozen Tomb available, but not going to be pulled out as Dread not quite close enough to follow up on anything.
I think Afreeca need to keep the foot on the accelerator. That's not because they have Spirit bot lane. They do have an AD carry in this game, but they're so squishy, Atlas, that, again, you set this up and have control wards in your flanks and fly sieging in the mid lane. You get one chance, otherwise you get blown apart by the side of Gen G. So win conditions definitely more narrow on the side of Afreeca as the game goes on. For now, the big damage and Infernal Drake means that Roach needs to be careful.
Well, Keen's still looking for Roach here. Not taking as much damage as the Purge is going to help take down this control ward, but they don't need that vision now because Shelly is already dead. Spirit underneath this turret, able to use the W for wave clear at that point in time, which is definitely one of the positives if you're playing Annie, but Spirit not able to keep up in the farm. It's once again the story of Ruler is going to get out of control, but can Afreeca stop it before it hits that critical mass that we know is coming?
Feels like it comes a lot earlier than it did in game number 2 because backline threat, while there for Afreeca, it's tricky to pull off. You can't just Lysandra E through a crowd or Predator and guarantee backline access. Predator, not always my favorite anti-rune because you do announce your position a little bit.
Yeah.
I prefer something like just Hex Flash and coming over a wall. But if it gets to Ruler at the right time, they get a Baron from it, freaking just straight up win.
Really nice there from Proud. Avoids the EQ combo.
Dread able to sneak in.
Yeah, and that means that they might go for this play once again if Proud plays a little bit further forward.
No flash available for Spirit.
You can see playing as if there's no jungler there as they move back. Is Life going to get greedy for some vision? I'll have to find out.
It's just no reason to face check this brush unless Life is the one doing it.
Well, he is going to walk all the
Good
way
call,
up. Peanut's waiting. Yeah, exactly right. It's going to be a 3v3, but Zoe's going to make it down there first. Teleport's available. There's the Hex Flash. They find Dread. They had no vision. They just guessed. But it's still looking like he's going to fall, but not before Peanut goes down. And Dread's still able to limp out of this one. The Frozen Tomb's in, and Ruler's already dead. Tibbers is tanking up so much of that damage, and Afreeca just trashed the team fight.
They do. They get the kill. Ruler goes down, and suddenly Gen G give over 3 kills against the run of play.
I don't know how Dread survived that. They guessed it so beautifully that he was going to be there, but it was Peanut that paid for it. Now Shelly comes down and pulls out so much gold from this turret. It's like a bank heist movie.
Not a lot each, but 5 members sharing in the Shelly charge, maybe for the first time we've ever had. In LCK, not usually are you 5-man group. We have to watch the replay. I assume that it was the God tier positioning on the ultimate there, not allowing any of the follow-up damage to actually take down the Xin Zhao. For Dread to stay alive. Fly walks down, everything done right from Gen G, and yet the execution just better from Freecs.
Yep, looked really good. The CC was just layered so nicely, and they had the target selection down so that Ruler could not survive. Gen G playing aggressively as Ruler just walks up, wants to be able to get himself this next turret plate before 14 minutes, but that just ticked over, so it's not going to happen. So let's have a look at how this one worked.
Let's watch the Xin Zhao ultimate here and how much value it gets. It disengages both. Only the Lee Sin comes in, but shielded, and then, yep, suddenly you're not taking any damage from first Ruler, then other members. Assertive teleport there, able to clean up Ruler. You got really trolled by that Xin Zhao ultimate to Gen G, and that's after they did so much right to start up that play.
Now Afreeca looking for more. So the culling was tanked entirely by Life, which is why he died. That's what happens. Afreeca do have a lot of damage availability here in this mid-game.
Ward getting a lot of value when it comes to poke. It means that Gen G have control over this Drake. Double control ward already put down. Try to guarantee it. Our ultimate's back up. I'm seeing that Dread has his available.
I can see a bear and a frozen prison.
Yep, they're all
that's
up.
A real scary one. The quickness as well is going to be very important as Fly looking at the mid lane here. Keen doesn't have teleport, and he's trying to keep himself shrouded in darkness as he moves on down. Roach also cannot join up here, so we're not going to have Fears Beyond Death. This Fly looking for the trouble bubble, does get it. Headbutt pole under one as Life trying to segregate this team fight. Peanut comes in, the quickness goes down though, and immediately Peanut is punished. Ruler can't get in there again as the Claw of Doom gets UCal out as the Hail of Blades trying to be utilized, and the trouble bubble once again isn't going to land. Audacious Charge was held onto for so damn long, and there's the targeted CC onto Ruler, but can they actually take him down is the question. Such low health bars, they eventually get him, but that was too close for comfort. Dash cannon there from Fly, and in comes Roach. Fear beyond death, not going to be able to get Proud feared up, but he's still scared enough, Bubba Smithy, because he's behind enemy lines, and he's going to be taken down by the turret.
He'll go down. That was a really extended fight around the Infernal, which does not die. During that particular time, Roach is able to join and clean up some kills. Really fun stuff, and you appreciate that anti-burst range. He's over the wall, and Lee Sin, now you see him. Now you don't.
Boop. There's the big Super Galaxy Tibbers diving on forward. Feels a bit like they actually have a five-man squad, despite Lucian making his way down from the top side.
Urgot and Keen can't join this one until much, much later. Lucian always going to get there first, as Keen kind of abandoned, coming to join. He's going to be surprised when Urgot ends up being the big reason this is pretty even. On the back end, he comes over and sees a lot of squishies, and he's Urgot. He's helping.
Yeah, pulls one over as Dread. Nothing he could do there as the Fear Beyond Death arms. Tell you what, though, absolutely loved all the attempts that Ruler made. He made it as difficult as possible for Afreeca to take him down, and I feel like that has been the story of this series thus far.
Infernal being controlled as Urgot walks down, and Keen stays top. No turret plates to punish here, and a equalizing Infernal Drake goes the way of Gen G.
That is fantastic news for Gen G fans. So many of them in this audience, and so many of them, I know, back at home. Oh my goodness. First turret should go over to the Afreeca Freecs here as this one's taken down, but that is the trade that Gen G decided to go for because they are investing. They're investing in the late game, and an Infernal Drake is certainly going to help them there. Can this map control actually help Afreeca put their feet on the gas?
I think late game is optimistic. It needs to be the now game. It needs to be more and more of these huge engages with Predator Annies and Lissandras Oh My. Keep pushing up. Keep getting immediate gold. The balanced teamfight comp from Gen G should outdo you in most balanced 5v5s.
And you can imagine that both of the teams pretty happy with the decisions that they made, right? Get the global gold now for the Afreeca Freecs and get the investment for later for Gen G, who are just doing their best to hold on. Proud. Going to take a lot of damage there as Ruler has been ignited, but is not exactly what they wanted. He was just trying to protect a control ward, I think. But quickness and ignite now on cooldown.
Nice juke on the trouble bubble there. Peanut finding Dread, one level up.
There's the claw. UCal gets over the wall. But no one actually taking the bait that was Dread, that particular instance.
Never ever want to be A-ramming as this Afreeca comp will get poked out solely by Zoe, who has plenty of flat pen already.
Yep, UCal trying to mirror that one. Wants to get an Oblivion Orb as quickly as possible, because he had to go for the Merc Treads. Roach and Fly. Solo lane is in the same lane, always feels bad. But, is that a cleanse from Roach?
I think he was cycling on that particular instinct.
Yeah.
Getting through his
Sorry,
summoners.
Clarity? Was that a Clarity?
Could have been a Clarity.
I haven't heard that sound. I felt my nostalgia.
That is the sound of Clarity.
The sound of Clarity. I feel like we haven't had much of that today.
Sounds like a rejected Coldplay song.
Yeah. Sounds like Clarity.
The sound of Clarity.
I feel like it's being a bit uppity saying that you know what the sound of clarity is when you're a musician.
Well, I don't want to speak about how uppity Coldplay is. Everyone has their opinion on that. In this particular game, my opinion is that Ruler is, you know, half an item away from being the difference. They got the front line. Ruler with 2 items can do the rest. Now is the time to strike still. And getting those control wards down, getting Spirit into Flash Tibbers range is not something Afreeca have set up just yet.
Well, they do have double teleports, so they can start a fight and then have people joining. Whether or not they're going to be able to keep this trio alive, because they're not very tanky, keep them alive during that time is going to be the difficult part. So, still waiting to see what Afreeca's next move is going to be, and bringing Lucian down is step 1. 200 gold is all that's in it. Everything is even, but this is one of those stories where you see that the gold's even, but actually Gen G feeling very, very good about a game that's in parity.
And the cadence here is actually very predictable. It's all about backing for control wards because Gen G can never lose out on control wards, and Afreeca Freecs need them to get their initiation going. So it's a very much a pull and shove when it comes to how much control vision is available in inventories. Gen G are now freshly shopped, and that's why we see 2 put down. That was unintentional, but it gets the point across.
Yeah. And they can protect them a lot easier now with 2 of them. Feels good as Fly not quite able to land much of this poke that he's been throwing relentlessly.
We're out of control ward, so back we go. It's usually one person in scenarios like this where it really is about back timers and control wards, where one person just doesn't think about the next level, gets caught, and then undoes what is such a predictable cadence of recall, get to control wards, sweep out enemy vision while the enemy's recalling, etc.
Yep.
We're only at 21 minutes, so no Barons coming in this game. Can be tricky as Afreeca and Tibbers the Baron can take it up for a while and have Lucian try to take it down in, say, a 2 or 3 man rotation. Otherwise, too squishy to stop Baron easily, our Afreeca Freecs.
Yeah, I guess they'd have to invest Spirit's ultimate in order to do so, but that's a big R button. It does make the Annie much less scary if they do decide to go for it. All or nothing play, most likely, on the side of the Afreeca Freecs, but they do like going for those, as Gen G Life was in a position to get an engage, and we know that the Alistair of his certainly is very strong, as Dread somehow weaves in amongst all of those skill shots.
Halving the game, though, farming it up with Ruler kiting back, and the rest of Afreeca kiting back. To me, that suits Ruler only. And these scenarios are great from a Gen G perspective. Until that changes, until the Tibbers is thrown down, you're halving to the outscale of Gen G.
Yep. Super Soak going to land on the Proud, who's been the one soaking damage here for the Afreeca Freecs. Another Infernal Drake is going to spawn, which is why the Afreeca Freecs have been moving on down here.
Well, this should get a fight, but the vision control is pretty damn good from Gen G. What will Spirit do?
This is the one brush that Afreeca actually had vision in, as Keen going to jump on over, tries to get some damage down as Roach soaks the entire culling.
He's out of the fight for now.
Has to get out of there, and Afreeca Freecs going to make it a 50-50, but Dread does pick that one up a little bit early from Peanut. Dread secures it.
It's all about smiting when you can and hoping that an auto will steal it away. In a calculation, doesn't happen. Dread is the young man. Again, a lot of Dread's MO when it comes to his play in solo queue is this guy is like Peanut 4 years ago in terms of a very young jungler who likes to play aggressive. He gets the smite down in a war of infernals, a fiery battle to go the way of Afreeca Freecs.
Yep. And now we've got some key items coming in. Yukao gets himself the Zhonya's Hourglass, refills on the control wards. Keen's got that 2-item spike. We're looking for the second item in for Dread. Should have that one relatively soon.
Sterix Gauge.
Yeah, probably going to be the choice. As Spirit still trying to find his dash cannon in the shop.
They're just never going to take this mid lane turret down from pushing it up. Just won't happen.
What's going to be the answer, though? Bottom lane outer turret is very, very low. You've got an Urgot down there, but could be somewhere where Afreeca decide to move their roster. The vision certainly focused around this mid lane. 23 minutes into the game, double Infernal Drake. Baron available. Keen does have some damage here, and Afreeca Freecs over to the side are able to soak up some skill shots and take out this outer turret. And finally, they're able to push ahead. Not in the gold, but in the map control, most definitely.
Not a realistic TP spot for Urgot in that particular case.
Oh no, that was unfortunate use of the claw there for Yukao. If there was follow-up onto the Lysandra, he was just dead.
Afreeca, if they actually control the Rift Scuttle vision, then there's a lot of threat onto Baron, but because they don't, this play is negative EV, I guess, one way you could call it. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah, now that these trouble bubbles are starting to land, Keen had to tank that one as the ultimate barely misses Relentless Pursuit enough to get Keen out of the way. But now health bars are too low, and this is what can happen. You get 3 Paddle Stars in a row, they have to go home, and you could just have run of the map if you're Gen G.
It's 5 Squishies Atlas. It's your birthday come early if you hit any champion on the side of Afreeca Freecs. The reliability of Fly, even if his skill shots are off today, is going to be high, and if his eyes are in, then, well, it's going to be so tricky for Afreeca to do anything other than Rambo all in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they want to do. You know, this is the MO of this team. Haven't fallen behind at all, able to get back very quickly. Dash cannon done for Spirit. Has himself the stopwatch, not soaking too much of the extra poke is going to be the aim of the game here for the Afreeca Freecs just in general. With an actual AD carry available to them. Could more of an opportunity here for the Afreeca Freecs to get some work done, but Roach not going to be too worried about getting stunned up here because he's the big tanky Urgot.
Desperately want the Scuttle Crab here to make these Vision Wars a bit more even.
Yep.
And they spawn very shortly.
And a stab Roach as the control wards getting traded one after the other as Spirit coming on over. Another Trouble Bubble lands, this time onto the Lucian. Wanting to tag it up there with the Void Seeker. I actually really like that combo to try and guarantee the damage if they are isolated.
Ruler in the mid lane gets closer and closer to the 100 CS advantage. Spirit receives a Paddle Star and he doesn't like it.
Nope. Next one, you're going to have to use your stopwatch to avoid it. And that is certainly not what you want, as he's backing on a ward. And this could just be a very dead Annie. The ultimate not going to find it. Void Seeker as well, avoided by walking in a straight line. I like that strategy.
Honestly, with the Vision Toggle, I didn't think Annie was going to be okay. But
nope.
She makes it out. She's going to live for now. Continues to recall, seeing no value in the Predator. Need a lot of threat from, say, a Lissandra or a Lucian or a Xin Zhao to mask the obvious engage of the Predator.
Yep. Zeeks is done here for Proud. Probably going to connect that one over to Keen. As you can see, is indeed what has happened. So he's building towards the Essence Reaver as item number 3, the true 3-item combo. Feels a little bit better than going for the 4th item, crit item into Infinity Edge situation.
What is with these weird bounties? 474, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's so weird. We had this the other day.
And it's only 80 carries as well. Like, yeah, the 424 that we had yesterday.
Plays it.
It eventually got to 450 as
Proud
has to flash.
Huh. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, why?
Spirit was too far away, so he couldn't just battle dance onto him, so he had to flash. Awkward.
Yep, not entirely sure.
And Ruler's like, oh, no flash on Rakan. Happy days.
Yeah, he's going to be much safer now. Spirit dash cannons to get rid of these minions. And yes, they do use a summoner spell in a weird way, but otherwise, no issues. And the gold has righted itself. 500 now. 550 for Ruler. 0-2 Kaiser has a big gold bounty because he's been farming way more than Spirit.
His opponent has not been, and Stopwatch QSS going to be done as well to delay the inevitable.
Yeah. And so that's Flame Horizon on the way for Ruler a lot earlier than it was in game number 2. A lot of these things you've got to look at in reference to the rest of this series because it's the only real time that we've had a game that feels like this, with Spirit playing wave clear mids in the bottom lane and Keen being the main carry for the team. Often has been, just in general, but it's felt like a very strange series so far from the Afreeca Freecs.
Weird and wonderful would be my description. There was a lot of fun in game number 1 and game number 2, whereas this one has been a bit more of a grind. It's been a lot about the vision.
Trying to work out exactly what Afreeca Freecs are going to be able to make work here, as the Zoe seems to be the bane of their existence.
Definitely.
Lisa Riftcutler's going to cop the punishment. Dread gets one back there as Keen immediately starts up this Baron. A Spirit coming on over, wanting to try and charge up that stun as quickly as possible, as if that Paddle Star landed, I have a feeling Spirit may have just died, but it's still taking damage. The Urgot still on the bottom side of the map as Life gets the control ward in, takes half of his health bar though. He's not going to be able to tank any more of this, has to flash to get himself out as Keen still going and gets damage down onto Pina.
All they get is the teleport from Urgot though, yep, that is a lot of damage.
And now Keen cannot do that anymore. That is just over. No more. Going aggressive.
It's only a trade of TPs as well, because Keen had already used his teleport.
Yep. And Spirit missed a cannon creep. Single tier to be shed.
No tier in the build.
See if we can go back and buy one. There's certainly control wards in the build, Pub Smithy.
There is. I feel like ever since 2 control wards was introduced, no one sits on 1, they always have 2.
Yep.
I feel like we have more control wards than before. It's just the support can't just do it themselves with 3 control wards to move the line of battle.
And so now the coaches have said, now everyone needs to buy control wards, and so everyone just
I felt like we had 5 control wards, 3 on the support, and now we just have between 8 and 9, almost every back timing.
Yep. Feels like we've got a couple of supports in this game, with Annie and Rakan being in amongst it.
We're trying again. Vision's good here. Is there any blue trinkets available?
Yep. That Trouble Bubble's not going to actually find anyone here, as the Void Seeker's just going to help do damage to the Baron, as Spirit with Flash armed is ready to stop anyone from coming on over. Keen immediately jumps as they're trying to get this turn.
Yeah, Roach low.
Yeah. Tries to throw through, and Fly's going to be taken out. The Q from Yukal is enough to get it off to the side. I was watching Roach, but Fly just portal jumped a little bit too far forward, and Cleanse and Flash not able to help him. The Flash Tibbers just straight up misses onto Peanut, but Afreeca Freecs not perturbed. Will be Peanut once again having to go for some sort of steal.
Level under is Peanut, no Flash, but has the Blast Plant here. 50-50, can Peanut do it?
No Frozen Tomb available from Yukal here, who flashes on top. That's the stopwatch. Immediately traded as Keen once again dashes on over. But is there going to be enough of the damage from Ruler? The answer is most likely yes, but the Blast Cone trolls him entirely, and Afreeca just take the Baron.
Bit of heist there, and Keen wants a kill.
Yep, the double tap not enough to get rid of it onto Roach. That's a big pulverize, but no follow-up available, and Keen picks up the kill.
Seemed impossible to keep Peanut out of the pit, but they do it. They keep him out of the pit. They get the smite down. Man, do they have to be innovative about taking it, but they get the Baron. Afreeca desperately needed.
That was just ridiculous. It looked like Afreeca had turned, but half of the team actually stayed on it, and it was the right call to make because the Blast Cone trolled the hell out of Ruler. He tried to dive into the backline, unfortunately, right onto where the Blast Cone's going to get him into the Krug pit, and Proud just boops him on over.
But watch the start of this, because, you know, we were watching, I guess, the end of the fight. It started with a 3-man and 2-man death squad in the previous start that got them their opening kills. The Stasis Fiesta begins, and watch Peanut walking up, desperate in the pit. It's at 3,000 health to our knowledge. Ruler goes over. Let's see whose auto attack it is.
Proud.
It's Proud's auto attack. And then egg on the faces for the remaining members of Gen G.
I'm not entirely sure whether it actually was all that circumstantial, though, Papa. I think you might be right of it not being the key part of the play, because it just felt like the Baron was about to go down anywhere, and there was nothing that they could do.
Afreeca Freecs,
their faces.
They've just had so much fun this series, win, lose, or draw. They know the Baron was so desperately needed. It was all looking a bit anemic on the side of Afreeca, and we saw already how much damage Zoe can do. But now, things are once again pretty even, Atlas.
Well, inner turret's going to be under fire at the moment, and if you can't siege, what do? You get a Baron buff. Should be helping here as Proud able to dance his way out of any potential engage. Rakan has been the linchpin to a lot of these compositions for Afreeca. Gen G haven't been able to fit the ban into their set of bans that have been demonstrated thus far because they need to ban Karthus, Morgana, things like this, the Cassiopeia there as well.
No Baron on the mid lane. Lissandra means that the 2-lane push not quite as fearsome, but they do take down this inner bot lane turret, growing a very slender lead over Gen G.
Yeah, 2,000, probably one of the bigger ones that we've seen in this whole series. Remember, in game number 1, it was 3 minutes of gold lead that Afreeca experienced. So, one of the bigger ones. Certainly not worth talking about as the culling flies in once again. Roach is always the one that soaks them, but this time didn't have enough health bar to get through it, and they lose their tank. Fly portal jumping around. Q gonna land from Peanut, but he just can't afford to go in. This is going to be base broken, and Afreeca Freecs, it's a war of attrition, but they have been able to win out.
I think they'll try and get some Nexus turrets here. Peanut, we going in.
Yep, Dread gonna at least take one. Good knockup, but it's only onto Peanut as Life trying to get more done. Fly takes out Dread, and Keen very, very low on that health bar, but they do manage to trade. Ruler still full health, does have a lot of damage available to him. And that means that Afreeca Freecs are going to back away.
Look, they were looking for a mistake from the side of Gen G there. Very bold to walk up with this team comp and try to take Nexus turrets down. They back away.
That's going to be 2 Guardian Angels completed on this back, as well as Keen pursues over the wall to try and pick up their second Ocean Drake. 4 dragons to come in, and then the Elder will be available. Last time around it was Gen G with the fully stacked Elder with the 4 dragons.
Do we have enough gold for Void Staff on this back from Annie? Watch the replay here, and Annie just says, all right, you're too far up, and the layering of CC and Keen and Spirit do the rest. They get the kill there. Urgot's tanky, but hard to be tanky to that much mixed damage.
Yeah, and I absolutely love the Annie position check that she basically is if she's in any game. If you become too close, it's always going to be a problem. Life takes the focus, but isn't necessarily the one you want to be taking down because Fly gets the paddle stars over, and Dread is going to be the sacrificial lamb.
Void Staff done. And look at this item choice onto the Rakan. Apparently needs more movement speed.
Oh, good God.
That's a really interesting one here. Shirelius coming out for largely the Annie to Predator, Shirelius, and get the hell in there to flash Tibber's Ruler.
And once again, guys, I want to bring to your attention the fact that this still doesn't feel like Afreeca are definitely going to win this game. It is still one of those situations.
It's a harder game than game number 2.
Yeah, where Ruler can just navigate a team fight better, and if they don't kill him, he cleans up better than any other champion that Afreeca has available to them. So Keen wants to be able to use his Essence Reaver to dart around these fights, get the free hits in, but if he dies, the Kai'Sa can clean everyone up.
Flash up on Annie. Waiting over the wall, but no one will walk up in that scenario. Ruler clearing in mid lane.
Roach is on the bot side of the map, just trying to get this wave sorted out. Wants to push the super creeps back as far as possible to give Gen G some 5v5 space. Keen just trying to soften the health bars of the Gen G members as Fly. No Paddle Star Joy just yet. Banshee's Veil done. No. Wasn't a Banshee's Veil because he finished the Void stuff, but it looked a little bit like it with the stun rotating around the Super Galaxy Annie. That trolled me really hard.
Baron is going to be probably the scene of the crime here. The siege pretty awful on the side of Afreeca, and the all-in under turret against Banshee Veil
well,
on Zoe and Lee Sin is tricky.
Updated the timer for the Baron, so that's certainly a possibility here for the Afreeca Freecs.
22 seconds on the spawn. No vision around it.
Can't quite hear some of the things, which is...
We're getting some sounds of the rift.
Yeah, sounds of the rift. Well, the sound is Peanut having a little bit of a visual bug. I don't think he was that far up as Fly. He's the one with the Banshee's Veil. Trying to find people with his Trouble Bubble and Paddle Stars. Proud. Not going to get tagged by that one, but it's so important that Fly actually lands this poke because he's the way he stops Afreeca from being able to freely start up the Baron.
Also important that they had so much of a push down bot side. Spirit just rolls in.
Have they found a position where they can catch him out, though? Roach, once again... okay. Spirit was caught by a Trouble Bubble, which is why he had to use the Zhonyas.
That crisis averted. Gen G, they know that Spirit is just a auto attack away from basically being dead.
Teleport done, so he can actually get himself back here. Has, I believe, used his control wards as well as Fly. Not able to find any of his buttons after the relentless pursuit from Keen. And Peanut clearing out the vision on this Baron buff.
What about some deep wards? It's going to be a very shallow teleport from Annie. Understandable. Not looking for a flank. The minions was pushed out really well in the bot lane, but finally the group minion wave is pushing up from the inhibitor that Gen G has down. This is the time for Baron. They started up very, very shortly, but now it's vision clearing. Give Urgot a real choice to make.
Yep. And Yukal waiting for this flank here as well. We've got wards aplenty for him to dive on top of, and the Baron is getting taken down relatively quickly. Life not in a great position to try and get some CC across and Fly. Not going to find the Paddle Stars, and in goes the teleport. The Claw going to be able to get Yukal right over this wall at the same time. And Ruler, he could just get flashed on. Claw lands, supercharges in there, but Yukal flashes over. 4-man pulverize from Life, but they're just playing this one front to back. Peanut gets his way out. The health bars are very low, but the trade back damage just isn't there. Keen, can you get the damage in? Roach gets the fear. It's on to Dread and Tibbers. You cannot run fast enough. Yukal does actually dive forward, but feels so frightened. Can't get anything else other than turning golden in their face.
So close to so many cataclysmic game-deciding plays coming off, but they don't, and only Dread going down to speak about. Yukal on the backline has a couple of different choices here. Knows the QS is there from Ruler, so he just joins in on all of the group damage. But Life's Pulverize hits 4 members, meaning they get no value out of the Rakan dive in. Really well played by Life, and they clean up Dread on the back.
Yep, but that is all that they're actually able to do here. So many buttons on cooldown and so many health bars are taken down so low. As we jump back in, we've got another fight. Keen throwing the culling further forward. Essence Reaver means that he can just skate around these fights. You can see why it's so incredibly powerful. Still not able to actually start anything off for real.
Just such a fiesta game because all Afreeca can do is engage, and Gen G are trying not to allow big objectives and multi-man Tibbers. Speaking of Tibbers, it's not available just yet. Elder is super tank.
Well, Dread is going to turn up here as Peanut dives forward. The Hail of Blades not quite as effective now. As you can see, the Paddle Stars need to be respected. Also, Void Seeker landing for a relatively large amount of damage. Chlorodoom on cooldown. Spirit over to the side as Ruler just wants to pick him off, but they still are putting damage into this Elder Drake. Finally, Keen turns his attention onto Gen G in the Trouble Bubble. Does not land. Reset of the Dragon as Dread finally going to jump back in on top of it. They're going for the 50-50. Peanut lands the Q but doesn't take the Dragon and immediately gets taken down. The Young Fingers are once again victorious as Keen throws through the culling but doesn't get Roach.
And this late in the game, is it worth it to give up your life for a 40-60 chance at a Baron? That's the question we don't know. Fly's amount of harass just hasn't been leading to kills. It's been oh so close as Afreeca Freecs have navigated around that. Now they have just one of the sickest Elders you'll see, double Inferno,
dude.
double Ocean. They can run at the Baron, and they've got plenty of time for Gen G to opt into some crazy burst damage, but also burn damage. The burn on Tibbers does apply the true damage.
Yeah, so Tibbers is going to be even scarier. Spirit might actually want to die to get the death power of the Tibbers. Going to do so much work, but Baron is going to be taken as well. Have your cake and eat it to Afreeca Freecs. Let's see this one again.
It's a true 50-50 as one smite goes down, the second one decides it. I'm never a big fan of these plays when death timers are so long at 40 minutes, but because they had the reliable ward, because they had the exact timer, you can understand why Peanut went for it. But now they have to pay for the sins of that. 3 minutes on Baron, and Elder still. This is a super-powered Afreeca Freecs.
Yes. The neutrals certainly belong to them, but you can see they worked for it. There's so many wards around this map for the Afreeca Freecs. They've been desperately trying to hold on to this power, and all that they can show for it is 4,000 gold in the lead. And they broke open the base once on the bottom side.
To be clear, no one is tanky to the frontline engage. Even Roach, as we've seen a couple of times.
Uses the ultimate just to keep himself immune to follow up damage. Trouble Bubbles need to be respected so much.
One rotation from Annie's doing about half of Roach's health, so he has to be a lot more respectful than he could previously in the game.
Yeah, Spirit actually getting scary as the items come in.
Baron buff power play, only 1,000, but it's about breaking the base. They know that their siege is now overcome by the fact that they got this Baron. They walk up, and in multiple different lanes, how many inhibitors can they take? They want to visit the bot lane one as well.
When burn damage is doing this much to towers, I have to feel that they're made out of wood, Papa Smithy, because that did not last very long at all. Inhibitor goes down as an afterthought, and the bottom lane going to be broken open as well. Yukao with some time on his own, which is why the Afreeca Freecs are being more respectful. As soon as Roach turns up topside, that's when Keen's happy to walk forward, get some double taps, and now Spirit does have... No, it doesn't quite yet. Okay, life. Oh my god, the culling into the back of the Moo Cow, and he's just straight up dead. Relentless Pursuit gets Keen out of the way of these paddle stars, and the base is destroyed. Fly takes some taps, and it's just real scary. Peanut going for the last ditch engage, but has to flash out of the way of Proud's engage himself. Grand entrance needing to be respected, and with no flash, how does Peanut get anyone out of position?
They can't necessarily end the game here, usually with 3 inhibitors down. We're just on a waiting game, but it's so risky against Gen G. We've never seen Ruler pop up, but we know 3 crashing at the same time.
Well, double super creeps are still making their way out of the Afreeca Freecs space, so it is a bit of a wait before they get here. 2,000 gold, the Baron power play, meaning that still things are very, very close. That needs to hit about 8,000 before it's any big lead that we've been seeing most of the day. But the Nexus turrets are now under fire. In goes Proud to find even more. 2-man pulverized from life just to try and get them out of there, as Proud is going to be safe for the moment. But that's another full culling. And Keen's now nicking around this fight like no one can stop him. And I don't think anyone can, as the double tap not quite there to get rid of Fly. But the Nexus will be taken down, and Afreeca Freecs come back after a Game 2 loss and take down Gen G.
And damn, do they do it their way. 2 teams rooted at the bottom of the table, 0 and 4, need to fight so valiantly just for a single match win. Afreeca Freecs, how replicable is bot lane Annie, bot lane Morg, bot lane Nico? Is it just, let's get some confidence and then work it out and bring back aiming? We're not to know. Lots of creativity there, and credit to the coaching staff. They were having a great time the entire time. Ruler just never found an entrance. They could never fight front to back because things just didn't go to plan for the side of Gen G, and Afreeca Freecs feels like they nicked one away from the side of Gen G.
They certainly did, but the grins on their faces, just having the best time. Once that game was over, even after their loss in game number 2, it looked like they were still the happiest boys ever. Coaching staff joining them, just... it's just the absolute opposite what happened to Gen G, because even after game 2 and their victory, They didn't look like they were a happy team. This squad feeling like there's just nothing that they can do.
They can do anything, can Afreeca, but it works against Gen G out of form. Does it work against some of the 2-0 teams? That's the part where I'm not sure, Atlas. The bot lane Annie seemed like a bridge too far, but was just about enough to close out this particular game. Does heap pressure onto Gen G. Now they're in a must-win match. You don't want to go 0-4 to open your season. Ruler had some big games, but it wasn't enough in game number 3.
No, his hard carry just unable to work out here. In 3 games of Kai'Sa, only 1 of them able to work out. Second game was very impressive, and he did have some brilliant moments. Get behind Ruler, certainly still the strategy for Gen G. But Afreeca, the crazy strats, the weird ideas is still their MO. They made it look pretty damn good with some different names in the squad this time. Tell you what, I was impressed by Proud. All the games were on the Rakan, and every time just going in, going in, going in. That game, I'd be surprised if he didn't get the MVP.
What a game. Really interesting stuff. I have to feel like over that game, we were waiting for those paddle stars to decide, and a lot of paddle stars went wide. Very hard to criticize too much, but it felt like they were just set up for any paddle star as golden. They didn't even have to hit. They're squishy in that game.
I feel like we actually saw moments where they were hitting. You know, there were 3 that hit in a row, and then everyone had to go back on the side of Freecs, and they needed to buy those wards again, get that control again, and make that slow rebound into control of the map once more. I felt like this game was very, very hard, but Afreeca played this difficult composition in a way that was intelligent and like they had a plan. So obviously, this is one of those master plans from I Love Uv or No Fade. I think they had this idea to try and get things working for the Afreeca Freecs, and they'd done this before.
The way I look at it is the picks are unorthodox. The way to win this game was a lot of flashing in, so it's not going to be the most technical, but their fundamentals are good. I think is what you're saying there, Atlas. Their warding fundamentals, their back timers, those are clean. On the side of Afreeca Freecs is we have to step away and say, hey, Spirit is 100% win rate as a bot lane.
Oh, no, he lost on the Nico. So 66%.
Match victories, though.
Hey, that's true. Match victories.
1-0. Maybe he never has to do it again.
Also, I think his win rate's pretty good as a support. So Spirit just able to play multi-role pretty damn well.
We don't have a lot of Spirits. We don't have a lot of these old guard in the LCK. We have players from 2015 and 2016, but the 2014 and past, the Champions days, are now long behind us. Some of these fights were oh so close, but not enough for Ruler to hard carry.
Yeah, Ruler was almost there, but almost just is not enough. As Roach comes on forward, this sort of saved this particular fight. Trouble Bubble doesn't land on a Proud, but he's on the wrong side of the map. This is one of the stories of this game, is Gen G just not quite being close enough with their very standard composition. And this dance around the Baron was just stunning.
Just so extended, and it becomes an auto attack by a Rakan to really stuff the contest here. Ruler goes over, Peanut interrupted in the play, and Baron claimed for the side of Afreeca Freecs. Again, so surreal, and we have no idea what to expect next time Afreeca play. Even the roster's way up in the air.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the team where I'm going to be looking for the roster way ahead of time, as this felt like the game was going to be over, and then it wasn't, because that 4-man Pulverize was just too damn good, and Peanut even getting the 2-man knock-up and kickback.
I think Life had a really good series.
I do too.
Had some really big moments on Alistair and in the previous game as well. 3 games of Rakan to contend with, and yet I remember a lot of his plays as there's the replay of how close the Elder was, but Elder became Baron, became the end of the game for Afreeca Freecs.
It was. And Keen doing his best bot lane impression as well. The Vayne, brilliant, MVP worthy in game number 1 and in game 3. The Lucian, like he's played in the past, looked equally as dominant, able to dive over Baron walls and get so much damage in. The culling soaked by Life and Roach so often in this series.
And you know what the best news is, Atlas?
What's that?
We get to ask them about what the hell's going on today, because they have to do an interview.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to see who actually got the MVP for game number 2, to see who we're actually going to be able to pick the brain of. Do you think it might be Keen again?
It may be.
43,000 damage.
Yep.
That's a lot as a top lane Lucian.
Yeah, it's more than the rest of his team almost.
And there's a Zoe in the game who should have been free paddle starring throughout the mid game. That's indicative of something going wrong on the side of Gen G, but something going very right on the side of Keen.
About 1,000 damage short of 50% damage share here.
Yep.
Is Keen. 49.5% is pretty good. As, you know, put all the eggs in the Keen basket. Vayne certainly worked.
It did.
And maybe we keep doing this.
And maybe we just play bot laners in top lane or mid lane. Maybe that's just going to be the next thing.
Shout out to Spirit. What about Karma? Huh?
Hey, that's true. He's still got
Malzahar
way more
1v2?
utility mages to play. Oh, Malzahar's not enough utility. Where's your shield?
Zillion.
Zillion's a good option. That is definitely a good option. Zyra, another option. Could play Brand before 9.2 hits.
Aurelion Soul, and you just chop a lot.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Rammer spot. Somebody's done it
there
before.
we go. And you can mix up the fact that you're a jungler. Oh man. I want to join Afreeca Freecs and join this mad scientist brigade because that's the fun part of League of Legends, you know, working out the cool new thing to break the game with. And I'm sure everybody has that on their minds as the ranked season has just started.
You did that already, but doing an iron isn't the same as doing it on the Rift. As Keen will be your double MVP, 7-1-2. Participation 60%, and while it's not confirmed on this slide, about 49.5% damage share in this game.
Damage per minute of 970. Is that the highest ever for a top laner? That's insane.
For a top laner, maybe. Definitely not for AD carry. We've had 1,300.
Yes, we've had really big ones for Ezreals and things like
Worlds
that.
2017 had a lot of DPM records. I mean, he's just hitting Urgot a lot, so yeah, damage obviously isn't the most consequential in lane. But he's really, really clean. He's one of the best carry players we have in Korea as a top laner. Happy to roam around and make things work. And in Keen, we trust in the late game. Just like in Ruler, we trust in the late game, is the two adages of these two teams.
Yeah, absolutely right. And it's just so weird seeing a very similar idea happening on both sides in very different ways. Because it's get behind Ruler in the later stages of the game, but it's get behind Keen throughout the entirety of the game.
It's get out of the studio because everyone wants to get the last train as we're going nice and late, about 20 past 11 p.m. in Korea with the full 6-game day.
Yeah.
You're going to have a dress down from Costa John to deal with soon.
I know, he's going to really take me out, so I'm just going to prepare myself. Thankfully, Ji-sun's here to take you through the interview.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Ji-sun joining today's last interview, and we're going to be hearing from Keen, Afreeca Freecs. Finally, here at the MVP stage. How do you feel right now? Well, I had one victory on my AD carry play, so I was thinking that should I just become a bot laner? And it's a really big relief that we got the victory today. And everything was literally shocking. Roster, the draft, the lane swap. So what kind of strategy did you and the coaching staff have in mind? Mainly about the strategy, it comes from the coaching staff, and we always trust them. Did anyone doubt about it? Well, some of us were a bit nervous, but we were, in the end, trusting each other. Keen, you played Lucian and Vayne. So how did you like playing marksmen? Well, AD carry always have to put a lot of damage at team fights, so I had some kind of pressure on my shoulders, but whenever we won the team fights, I was really enjoying it, so I want to play more AD carries. When the situation comes, I will definitely play more. But Spirit also tried a lot of new champions, Morgana, Nico, Annie. Well, Spirit, he had a lot of confidence on those kind of non-AD carry champs, so we tried to prepare around it. Tell us about Annie. Was that prepared in advance? Yes. Because Spirit also has a very deep champion pool. In Game 1, so you picked Press the attack instead of Hail of Blades. Well, a lot of people are playing Hail of Blades, Vayne on solo queues, but I prefer Press the attack more. And you are free autoing during every team fights, and you picked up triple kill. But Kai'Sa was the biggest problem, so how did you deal with it? Let's go through the highlights. Well, I was trying to attack the front line first, but Kai'Sa was coming inside, so I was just hitting her back. This is a triple kill you got over there. Are you satisfied? Yeah, I think I did pretty well.
오늘 배치가 시작이 되는데
And you know, new rank season just started. Do you recommend the players to try Vayne? I personally actually don't recommend them, but I won't say no.
하신다면 꼭 집중 공격 베인을 해보시길
Well, they should probably pick Press the Attack as a rune.
연패를 탈출한
And your next series is against Kingzone, which also stopped their losing streak.
종혁이 형이 이제 투신 선수가
Tusin,
이제 저희한테 이제
he told me,
팀은 이제 말도 걸지 말라 이런 소리
well,
하더라고요. 그거 보고 너무
don't say hi if
열심히
you
해서
guys
제가
are a
한번
team with a losing streak, but we finally stopped it, so I want to take him down next time.
네, 다음 경기도 저희가 오늘 같은 변칙적인 픽,
I hope to
아주
see
환상적인 플레이
more of a
기대해봐도
shocking
될까요?
strategy from Afreeca
기대하셔도
Freecs.
좋을 것 같아요.
네, 알겠습니다.
Yeah, we'll be
벌써부터
back
다음
with
경기
more of
빨리
a
만나보고 싶습니다.
amazing
오늘
picks and
MVP 킹
drafts and stuff, so
선수와
keep
함께했습니다.
supporting us. Thank you.
감사합니다.
So this will be the end of the
네,
interview with
아프리카
Keen from
프릭스 다음
Afreeca
경기
Freecs. I'm
더욱
gonna pass it
기대되는데요.
back to our
저희는
casters.
내일
Thank you.
찾아뵐게요.
Thank you so much, Chisun. I'm actually very excited for that particular matchup because talk about like having crazy masterminds on a team. You've got Pawn, you've got Tusin there who can mix things up. Kingzone as a team known to do some crazier stuff, so we'll see what they can do up against the Afreeca Freecs.
We're going to put the standings behind us, and we'll probably full screen it soon. Some changes with the Afreeca Freecs now up to 7th with their match victory. Not a lot of safety, though, right down the bottom. There's just not many match wins to share. Griffin Sandbox and Damwon Gaming, the only 3 squads that can actually go 3-0.
Yeah, and it is going to be Genji evening things out with KT in 9th place, but KT are going to take to the Rift again. Jinair is going to be their first opponent in match 1, and Damwon Gaming versus Griffin, a headline match for match 2 on Friday. Griffin wanting to go undefeated into their match against SKT, but Damwon Gaming may be the real last boss.
A lot of retribution here for Damwon. They could go 3-0 and mean the 3-1 versus 3-1 SKT Griffin could happen, but they've never taken a single game off of Griffin in Challenger or in the Kesper Cup. That was a very one-sided 3-0 where Tarzan was the difference between the two teams. Is it a different time? Because again, Sandbox Gaming at 3-0, Damwon Gaming, like you say, who are the biggest contenders? You think you know, and SKT should be up there, but you don't know for sure until many more best-of-3s are played.
Well, the two teams with the same amount of games played and a perfect record are Sandbox Gaming and Griffin. So, honestly, I don't know. I was expecting Griffin, absolutely. That makes sense. Their last match against Hanwha Life Esports did look a bit shaky, and then Sandbox taking the victory over SKT today. I know that was a long time ago. Did we dream that? Because this was a long series as well. Pretty sure that happened.
A lot of stuff happened today.
Yeah.
And what it all means, I don't know. What does this mean for Afreeca and Gen G? Afreeca can't have too many more bot lane carries to play, but congratulations to them. That was a hard-fought victory.
It certainly was. So congratulations to the Afreeca Freecs. See what Gen G can do, but tomorrow, KT